Well, I think at this point people are going to start eating breakfast, I think. So it'll probably be like in the mess area eating. A lot of people are probably in the mess area eating. The pancakes are quite tasty. You will notice that half of the pancakes are perfectly stacked, whereas other ones are sort of oddly shaped. The other half are kind of oddly shaped.
Oh, I want to go make pancakes now.
But they all taste good. It doesn't matter. They all taste good. It's just there's definitely a visual difference between the two. When the pancakes are stacked on the table, at this point Talia has sort of recovered a little bit, and her eyes looks at the stack of pancakes and she says, "I want that one." And she points at one of the lopsided pancakes and she says, "That one almost looks like Blasto." Congratulations, Arkara.
Good job.
Sure thing.
Otto says entertainingly, "Arkara made that just for you." And the girl looks up at Arkara and says, "Really? I love it. It's so cute."
I'm glad you like it.
She takes out a fork and she starts eating it. And this is the dextro. Well, it doesn't matter. She's been eating her chewables, so she's eating the normal looking pancakes. And anyone who eats them, it's very good. The blueberries are juicy. The pancake itself is the perfect blend of crispy on the outside, slightly moist in the inside. And then, of course, there's the dextro version using, I guess, a dextro fruit compote. I don't know what kind of dextro fruit there is, but some sort of compote on top of dextro-based pancakes. So that's where Sync will find Elias. I don't know if Anar is in there right now, too.
Oh, he's in there.
Okay.
But if he sees Cyrus, he's gonna get up and go to him.
Cyrus is in the med bay currently. I don't think he's joining you guys for breakfast right now.
Eventually, he's gonna
Unless
go
you-
off and have a chat with him.
Okay.
But it doesn't have to be right away.
So
Right now-
everybody for the... Go ahead.
Right now, he's just gonna be tackling into a couple of pancakes and probably eating like a pig. With a bowler hat, so he's gonna be fancy and disgusting at the same time. It's crazy. Sorry, that's it.
While you're eating like a pig, Talia is going to giggle at you, and she asks you, "Mr. Anar?" She asks.
Yes. No one calls this one Mister. No one calls this one Mister. Who said that?
The little girl is looking in your direction, and you notice her, and then she leans in and whispers at you and says, "Do you know Blasto?"
First he's gonna cringe at that, and then he's going to think for a moment. Then he's gonna lean in and says, "Who do you think trained this one to be so awesome?"
She gasps. "Really?"
And he starts hopping up and down. Yep.
"Mommy," she says, "can I get an Anar doll too?"
Sure thing.
Then him and Blasto can be friends, she says as she's holding up the other stuffed animal, the stuffed plushie.
Actually, Anar's gonna say over to Cicepia, "Officer, that's good. Have you taken her on the tour of the ship yet?"
Not quite. No. We were gonna head back on to Invictus. Meet with her grandfather. Probably do that first.
Mommy, she says, "I want one with a hat and vest too."
Well, at the hearing that, he'll pull off the bowler hat. It's like, "You already do." And plops on her head. Of course, now everyone can see the bump and be like,
Yes. Her eyes light up and she says, "This is so cool." And
Actually, he leans in and says, "Do you want to see something even cooler?"
she nods very fast. Uh-huh.
And then he goes up over her head and says, "Officer, can this one take her for a second? Please, 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 please."
The Krogan says cautiously, just not to the bathroom.
He shoots Otto a look and says,
Otto
"This
gets
one
some
is an
very
accomplished
weird looks.
plumber. Thank you."
Akara bursts out laughing at that comment.
No explosions are involved.
Explosions?
You don't want to see them.
Still waiting for Cicepia's approval though.
I nod. Go ahead.
Yay! And our gets out of the chair, and then he actually goes up right next to what
Talia?
was her name? Talia.
Talia.
Says, "Would you like a ride? This one's stronger than it looks."
Can I, mommy?
Now it looks like he's
As-
twerking a little bit, as if impatient.
Twerking?
What?
What?
I'll explain.
I'm trying to
that later.
picture a
explain
hand
that.
twerking.
I imagine it's like a dog when the dog's like excited.
It's like a tail wiggle.
At this
If
point,
Zink ever
Meridi's
does anything with that item I gave him, you'll understand the twerking.
Meridi kind of like puts a hand over her face and says, "Oh dear goddess, why am I here?"
Actually,
as long
Anar
as you
looks
didn't-
over and says, "It's your fault." So he's kind of still waiting. He's like, "Hop on."
Yeah.
The little girl very carefully tries to get onto whatever it is that you want her. I guess the back on your back. I guess is it the back?
Yeah, or he can actually wrap all 6 tentacles around her, and then she can act like she's flying.
Oh, okay.
Ah!
Okay.
She's-
So now he's holding her like sideways up, so she has plenty of arm movement. She's comfortable. It's like, ready? We're going to see the ship now, and then it's going to show you something special. Doing a barrel roll.
Oh.
And then exit the room.
She starts squealing in laughter as you are flying her around the room, and she just can't stop just giggling and smiling and just making all these mirthful sounds as you're taking her around. And she keeps yelling. She's saying, "This is so cool!"
Gonna get better as he dive bombs into the cargo hold, not hurting her. It's gonna be
Okay.
enough.
Dive bombs into the cargo hold gently.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a fighter pilot who cares a little too much. Like, guys, I want to bomb this area, but I don't know if I'm gonna hurt them or not. But anyways, that's what he's gonna do.
Aw, very sweet. And then is there any? You said you were doing something at the end.
If you want, I'll give you a visual, or you can hear the sounds.
Whatever you want to do.
All right, then he'll bring her over to where the mech is. This one advises you to ignore the mess. And then he opens up the back hatch and lets her down gently. Hop in, hop in, hop in, hop in.
She hops in. Whoa!
Oh, and then he very, very quickly remembers that he's got to shove all his Fornax magazines into a cubby so she can't see them.
Yes.
Oh,
She
yeah.
looks around and she says, "Wow, this is so awesome!
He
Ooh,
then hops
soda!" She says, "Ooh, soda!"
She will notice that there is actually a plethora of choices for soda and a huge dispenser of cups that just never seems to go away. And he says, "Help yourself," while spinning in the chair and closes the all the hatches and stuff. And then he starts to fire it up.
"Are you sure?" She says, "I'm not allowed normally to have soda for breakfast."
Our secret.
Okay. And she goes,
You know what
she's-
this is? And he starts punching in some things.
No.
Well, come up, sit, 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 sit.
She sits.
He's like, okay, watch this. And then he starts to move the mech forward a little bit as it takes steps. Just let her
Wow.
get used to it. Mm-hmm. And then it's going to get even better. And then he starts going into a run in a circle, avoiding all the objects in the cargo hold.
She will cry out, "Wee!" and she'll start laughing, and she'll say, "This is better than a car."
Oh, it's going to get even better, honey. And then he goes up to a side panel, and then he looks around. Okay. this is our little secret, okay? Because this is very, very important. You don't tell anybody, especially Sink.
Okay.
And he goes over to the air ducts and kicks the thing in. This one's been using the air ducts as its personal roller coaster.
Wow.
And he morphs it into a ball and rolls right in.
Like Metroid style?
Yeah.
Yes, like
Wow.
And then
By
he
the
starts-
way, FYI, this is being filmed.
Oh, it's being filmed, definitely.
Okay.
It goes in, it's like, you ready? Countdown.
Yeah.
3,
Do it. Do it.
2,
Do it.
1.
Do it.
And he punches it forward, and you'll start rolling throughout the entire air duct system, throughout the entire mech. He's done this a few times, so
She
if you
squeals.
start, everyone's gonna start hearing some noises.
She squeals, she throws her arms up in the air, and you guys go through the air ducts. You guys probably can hear something going through the air ducts, like in the mess area. And Meridi says, "What is going on around here? Is this place falling apart?"
Cameras in the air. Oh, here's a visual.
You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, you've guys
Meridi's-
got a drone behind you filming this.
Meridi turns to Arkara and she says, "Does he have any kids of his own?"
I hope not.
I hope not too.
Eventually, you'll come to a stop and get out of the air ducts. She's probably gonna be a bit dizzy.
She's gonna be dizzy, but she's gonna be laughing and clapping, and she says, "Again! Again!"
He actually spins around a little bit. It's like, yeah, as soon as this one stops. How many were you? This one thought there was only one.
I am just one. She says, laughing.
Okay, as soon as this one stops, we'll go again.
She laughs and says, she says, she says, "That was so much fun, Mr. Anar. When are you gonna make a movie?"
He actually gets solemn for a second, and he's just looking at her.
The probe's already got like some footage already, so
Renar's not paying attention.
Charlie Renard, the movie.
But no, he's actually like looking at her, and he's actually, if she didn't notice it, the tips of like the sides of his body are trying to come up as if he's mimicking a smile.
Aw,
Funny
And
smile.
he starts to feel a little better. It's like, yeah, maybe that can be in the works. But anyways, let's go again.
very sweet. She goes over and gives you a hug. She gives you a squeeze, and she says, "I love you, Mr. Anar."
At this point, he actually has a moment where he's slowly starting to white out, and as that sentence starts to ring in his head over again. I love you, Mr. Anar. I love you, Mr. Anar. I love you, Mr. Anar. And all of a sudden, he's somewhere else again.
Uh-oh.
This time, it is not a fiery cargo-esque area. He's actually in a field that is overlooking what looks to be a colony, a bustling colony. And Anar is just looking out about it, being solemn and rubbing his face, where there actually is no scar at this point. And he seems pretty happy. And then all of a sudden he says, "Mr. Anar?" Huh? What? He looks over to his right, and there's a little girl sitting there in a sundress, overlooking the colony too. You seem like you were distracted for a moment, Mr. Anar. Yeah, this one was just contemplating what might be coming next. Do you really think that my daddy will actually give the Eclipse what they want? And he looks over at her and says, "This one's not sure, to be honest. It believes your dad to be a really good man. He'll know what to do." Mr. Anar, are you sure, like, they won't hurt my family? And Anar looks at her and says, "This one's sure. It will. Even if it does, this one will be here to protect you from it." That's good. I'm glad, Mr. Anar. And she gives him a hug. And then he hugs her back. And then she asks, can you tell me that children's rhyme again that you learned from the other kids? Oh, you've heard it 1,000 times. I just want to hear it again. And then he says, okay. And he starts to take her little hands with his tentacles and says, run, run, run as fast as you can. And then she starts to jiggle. You can't catch this one. It's the gingerbread man. And she starts like, oh, she's like a little girl. She's like about 9 or so. Oh, I love you, Mr. Anar. I love you, Mr. Anar. I love you, Mr. Anar. And he starts to fade back out, but the thing is, now he's starting to hear in the distance gunfire and screams. And it's just hearing everybody calling his name at the same time, and then all of a sudden, he's right back where the kid is, Talia. And she's probably looking at him really funny. And then he looks down at her and says, this one loves you too. Here, go hop in the mech again. We'll go for one more ride before we meet up with your mom.
Okay. She happily claps her hands and gets back into the mech. You guys go through one more ride.
Before he
then-
goes back into the mech, he's actually going to he's going to suck back some Hanar equivalent of tears. It says, it loves you too. And then he starts to shake it off the best he can and forces a smile back on his face before he goes on that ride.
When you guys are done with your ride, the little girl is still ecstatic. She follows you back upstairs into the mess area. By this point, a lot of you guys are finishing up your breakfast, and Talia comes in. She's got a huge smile on her face, and she sits back to where she was, and she says, "That was so much fun. I like it here."
Glad to hear that.
He's going to avoid eye contact with Sink and just go.
So, did you have fun in the airlock?
This one's not sure what you're talking about.
Shh. Talia says to Sink. She said, "Shh, that's a secret."
Hiding place
Right.
for this one's stuff. Yeah. Oh, it's really hot in here.
While he's talking, he's gonna pull out, like, I guess Drimmy's tools and be like, here, you can think about it. You can think about other things to do with Talia while you're fixing the bathroom in the cargo hold.
He's gonna take the tools and say in the most Anar way possible, this one will make it even better than it used to be. Because you just gave Anar stuff and told him to go fix something. You should be horrified right now.
Don't worry, I'll be sure to check up on you frequently. Make sure no more
okay.
accidents happen.
And he actually takes a moment to be serious, and then he asks you, have you witnessed the context of the chit yet?
At this moment, I'll pull out my pocket and I say, sorry, I've been kind of running around in the cargo hold and I'm just thinking about things, but I haven't had a chance. I'll take care of that as soon as I can.
He puts a tentacle on his shoulder and says, memories are wonderful while you have them. Don't squander what you have. When you have the time, make sure you take the moment. And
I
then
will.
just like
Thank you.
that, he gets bouncy again. It's like, well, this one's off to fix the freaking toilet. And then right before he dives in, bomb into the cargo, it's like, round 2, sucker!
Very nice.
I'm not sure that was a good idea, Sync.
Yeah, well, maybe we can figure out how to lock him down there. If he,
I suggest tranquilizer darts.
I'm actually with Elias on that one.
I think we
For
can
now,
come up,
anyway.
Maybe me and Cyrus can come up with some of those.
I'm sure you could.
I'm gonna walk over and take a handful of blueberries that are like in, I guess, a little preparation area for the pancakes, and I'll look at Elias. Elias, do you have a minute?
Sure, Captain.
Okay, you mind meeting me in your room, please?
Again? Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. It's the way that Dylan cleared his throat. He was like, "Do you mind? Can we meet back in your room again?"
Not going away.
All the ships are sailing.
Yep.
Dylan is just a walking romance novel on legs. It seems.
I know, it's brilliant.
It's amazing.
Oh man.
Dylan, because
Let's
you're
speak
going
in your
into Elliot's
bedroom.
room first, when you go in, you probably see a hollow image of Drimmy, and he goes, "Hi, Sync!" Or, no, he probably says, "Hey, boss!"
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna be kind of confused, and Jeremy?
Are you controlling AI Drimmy or am I controlling AI Drimmy? It
You
doesn't
can
matter to
probably
me.
control AI Drimmy. I think it's probably better if you do it because you've got a better hand of Drimmy's character. But there's AI Drimmy on the countertop.
He says, "Good morning, boss,"
Well,
and he gives you a smile.
did Elias do something to you?
I think is the AI is aware they're an AI, correct? They're aware. Are they not aware?
It's not actually an AI; it's a VI.
It's a VI.
Yeah, we don't.
So
Quarians don't officially make AI, so it's a VI version.
so
It actually depends on how it's programmed, because Elias probably hasn't programmed it as a VI, so it's probably not.
Is it like those the Citadel information
yeah,
bot things?
It
sort
would
of.
be a bit more
Arena?
advanced than that, so it wouldn't be referring to itself as a VI.
Yeah, I think I see it as a glorified gigapet, kind of, maybe a very glorified gigapet, I guess.
I mean, the thing is that the Quarians build them with quite a lot of complexity to the point where they can resemble the individual, which is one of the issues with them, actually. So yeah.
I think he'll have a lot of, but I don't think that they can form some sort of a connection or bond. Like it's still very much artificial, I think, in a lot of ways.
They
So
would have all the emotional inflections that they had in life, but any bond would be simulated, would have to be any growth would need to be programmed, and it would be a projection from the organics perspective.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
He will say, "Elias, I don't think so, boss."
Okay, real quick before I answer, I have a question, Hark, out of character. Compared to the backstory when he tried to talk to Tristan, like how different is these two encounters? Like, would you say?
I don't know how successful you were with being able to actually speak to Trissie's electronica conscious. I don't know how successful you were with that. So.
Okay. Yeah, Shink's gonna be kind of. He's not gonna respond. He's gonna be very shocked and confused, and he's gonna turn around to Elias and.
Well, Elias is just getting in. Oh, you weren't supposed to see that yet. Sorry.
What is this?
It's gonna shut down, so it's not there. That's a memorial, kind of thing.
Wait, did you turn his body into a machine?
No, that's a VI. Just looks like him and talks like him. Just it's and has a lot of his personality as far as I can see.
What about his memory?
I don't know all of his memory sync, so he's got as much as the ship footage has of him.
Okay. Well, don't worry, I'm not mad or anything. It's cool to see him in a way.
Well, it's what we do for our friends and family. And Jim was a friend.
He definitely was a friend. Listen, I called you into this room. I had a question to ask. I'm not too sure how the universe extranet works, but do you have access to your universe's information from here?
Only what I've got on file.
Okay, well, I have a special request to ask of you for when we do get to your universe.
I'm listening.
I want you to find out any information you can about the Simon that lives in your universe. And when you find this information out, please let me know as soon as you can.
Well, I do have Cicepia's passwords. So, that shouldn't be too hard.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And just please, if you don't mind, just leave this as a private matter, if you will.
Okay. Do you want me to tell the others anything if they ask?
Tell them what? And then I'll walk out the door.
Oh dear.
All right, I'm gonna go to the cargo bay real quick and go over to Anar.
Alright, how are you approaching him?
I'm just gonna walk up. I'm assuming you're facing the door, the bathroom. So are you gonna see him when he comes down?
Actually, he's in the bathroom trying to keep the water from spraying in his face while the mech is playing tango music and Pipsqueak is laughing at him.
Right,
It's like,
I'm gonna
Actually,
get in there.
walk
Put tab
over.
A into slot B. Where is that? See my work. You'll start seeing him like pound two pieces together. It's like, why won't they fit? Oh, Captain Sink. How can this one assist you?
Without saying anything, he's gonna go to the terminal and turn the water off in that area.
Oh, that probably would have helped. And he's actually trying to dry off his vest now. Man, I just had this one tailored. Thanks.
And then he's just gonna he won't say you're welcome. He's just gonna say about this Simon guy.
Oh, at that point, Anar gets very serious, and then he just says, "What about him?"
Is he dead in your universe?
He very slowly nods.
And you're sure?
This one did the job itself.
Okay, thank you. Let me just call if you need any help with the plumbing, and then I'll leave.
Sure. Before he goes, like, Sink.
Yeah.
He's actually signed himself. Are you sure you really want to know what happened?
All I want to know is if he's dead or not.
Yes, but... this one's Simon was far worse than the one that we encountered here. We should be very thankful that it wasn't any worse.
I'll keep that in mind, Anar. Thank you.
Okay. Anar was debating whether to tell him that he actually hurt Trissy in his world, but he's probably going to keep that to himself.
Sounds like a good idea. And I guess I'll just go to my quarters for now.
Okay.
As he does that, Anar looks back to his mech, thinking about stuff. See, Anar actually has security footage from that night. Basically, the entire mission that from the flashback in Session 3 has been recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually thinking whether or not he should keep it there.
Okay.
But then he shakes it off, deciding that's something to debate for another time, and he goes back to fixing the now not gushing in his face toilet.
Akara, do you mind if I speak with you just kind of one-on-one? There's some things I gotta get off my chest.
Yeah, no worries. I was actually gonna ask the same.
Where are you having this conversation, by the way, on the map? Where are you guys doing
do you
this?
Do you want to head over to your room?
Yeah, we can do that.
Ooh.
Talia's going to be in Cicepia's room. Yes, Talia's going to be in Cicepia's room. Meridi is going to help Otto clean up at the kitchen.
I just want to say thank you. If it wasn't for you, my daughter wouldn't be here. And
I just did what I had to do.
And I've been giving a lot of crap to you lately, really.
Well, considering everything, I guess I don't blame you. It's not like I've been very friendly towards you either.
It's especially given what you just said. Feel right. I let you know everything that I know. When we were in the Red Universe, I did a little bit of snooping. Found out that you killed me.
Yeah, I guess I should say sorry about that.
I gotta admit, this is probably the reason I was a little distrustful of you.
Well, as I said, I don't blame you. If roles were reversed, let's just not go there.
I did a little bit of digging up on her. It seemed like she was doing a lot of fishy stuff anyways, too, so...
Yeah, that's...
I can't fault you really to fault, but it's something that it feels like you risked yourself to save my daughter. I feel I should be more upfront with what's going on.
Yeah, I guess. And I just felt that I had to save her because she's just a kid. She's the future of everything. So...
And that's also, I've been feeling, I don't know how to approach Sync. I feel like if I try to comfort him at all, I would be a hypocrite. My daughter is alive, and I've gotten word that after what Simon said about Octavius, he may not have died on that ship. So it seems everyone in my life is alive, and Sync, his wife is dead. And now his friend and... I really don't know how to approach him right now. I want to say something, it's just... I feel like I'd be a hypocrite.
Well, all things considered, if you do want to approach him, then just do it. It can't get any worse, really. And just show him that you care, and don't feel like a hypocrite, because you can't help that his people die and yours alive. That's just how the world works.
If things had been different, if I wasn't in that singularity, maybe I could have reached out and I was on that side.
Could have, would have. Things didn't play out that way. That's just how the universe works, I guess.
I don't know what he's thinking about me right now either.
Only one way to get to know that, though. You have to ask him.
Right.
I know it's hard, though. Trust me, I have my own problems talking with people.
Yeah. And one more thing. It's gonna be awkward. I'm gonna bend over, pick up the nano chip that I had stored in her room. I'm gonna take this back if you don't mind.
She just folds her arms and goes like, "Oh, really now? Fine. You know, whatever. Take it with you."
It just didn't know much about you at that time. Something
so
that I had. I'm sorry.
I guess you saw those embarrassing. Okay, never mind.
It's just nano. It's only I could only hear bits. I didn't really. It's all audio from what I've gotten.
Let's just hope you didn't pick up on. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Oh, gee.
Again.
Embarrass Krogan.
Thank you again. Thank you for what you've done.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get going then.
just make sure Talia's all right.
Sure thing.
Do we
Very
want
good
to
scene.
know what was on the audio that we got?
Yes.
Considering
I think it
that
was-
I've got that
I think it-
feed.
I think it was Arkara singing to herself. She does that. She sings to herself.
It was a lot of singing, and on the drunk night she was basically pretty much howling, and she has nightmares, so she's been talking in her sleep and everything like that.
Nice.
And a lot of banging on the walls because she's too big for the.
The ship, yeah. All the doors have.
Dang it, Sink! You should have accommodated for a Krogan. What is wrong with you?
Yes, when you stole the ship, couldn't you have stolen with Krogan-sized doors?
I know.
Couldn't you have stolen air conditioning too? It's hot in here.
Or possibly picked up a not as clumsy Krogan.
What am I not paying you rent for?
He's really clumsy in close quarters.
So once Sync moves, leaves, I'm bringing back up the Drimmy BI, and I'm gonna continue tinkering with that one. Pi, question for you.
Yes, Creator Elias, I will try to do my best.
This is your universe, isn't it?
I beg your pardon?
This universe, is this where you're from?
No, Creator Elias, I'm from your universe.
Huh, okay. I just thought you might have been from here.
What made you think that?
Well, lack of Quarians, you still being software.
There's a pause. I am from your universe, Creator Elias.
Okay, thanks, just thought I'd ask.
Out of
That's
character, good guess.
it. Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of mystery about Pi, but it's not that.
Oh, that's okay. It's
Good
just,
guess.
It's just that I think Elliot needed to ask.
That was really
Yeah.
cool, though. That was cool.
Let the speculation continue about Pi. There's definitely something up with him, and I'm just trying to decide when's a good time to drop it. But so far, we'll see. You haven't quite hit a specific thing for it to trigger the what's
Haven't hit the
going on with
bullseye.
Pi. Haven't hit the bullseye yet with what's going on with Pi. So, but out of character, what he said about him being in your universe, out of character, that is true. That is true. So the question is, that doesn't explain why he is how he is.
Wow.
So, but it's a very good theory. Okay, is anyone else who was after Pi and?
I have one now, but I'll wait until last.
Okay.
I didn't know. I was gonna look at the chip. That's.
Oh yeah, did you want to look at the chip?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So Jeff will have to explain what happens.
Yes. So you're gonna tell me what you're gonna do with this chick, because you're gonna notice that it has video feed on it.
Okay. I'm just gonna, I guess, examine, and then I'll just plug it into whatever port, and play it.
All right. What's going to pop up is a playlist of different vid screens that look like recorded security footage. As soon as you start pressing on each of them, like for example, let's start with this one. You're gonna be looking from the perspective of the mech in the cargo bay. The date on the security feed is gonna be from in between leaving the Citadel the first time to Chichanka. And on the screen, you're gonna see nothing, and then you're gonna see something thrown. And then you're gonna see Anar appear like and he starts pulling on it. And then you're gonna see Drimmy pop into view holding the hammer. It's like, I'm gonna get my hands on you. And basically you're gonna watch an entire feed of Drimmy chasing Anar around, climbing up over
Touching
the
his
deck.
stuff.
Like, get down here!
Nice.
Moving on to another one. You're gonna find a different
feed
of Anar in the cargo hold, leading Meridi and Drimmy into the area, and then you can't tell what they're saying because they're kind of muffled, but then it seems like they're teaching Anar how to twerk.
Oh.
And then eventually Meridi and Drimmy start yelling at each other and start having a twerk off, and Anar's just watching and amused.
Oh my, that's in character. That's very much in character.
Next one, you're gonna see what looks like a makeshift poker table, and you're gonna see Otto, Cyrus, Drimmy, Meridi, and Anar, and all of them have their shirts off for some reason. Anar is screaming and yelling at Drimmy while wearing a mask that looks like Lady Gaga and screaming about something, reading his poker face. And then Otto will be like, embarrassingly, Lee, can I please put my shirt back on? It's cold in here. And then Cyrus will be like, this is why I do not play poker, ever. And then Drimmy's like looking all smug with himself, like he's won everything. You can take that as canon or not if you wish. Moving on.
That's canon.
Moving on. By the way, Hark, if Drimmy had a moment where he was by himself and talking, like randomly his thoughts out loud, Anar would probably have put the footage into the mix. So if you want him to say something that may pertain to his thoughts out loud, this would be a good time.
Drimmy, you see a video feed of a recent of Drimmy recently. He looks very upset. He comes down from the cargo hold. He puts his arm on the wall, and then he goes over to one of the crates and he just punches one of the crates over. The crates go over on the floor. He sighs when he realizes what he just did, and he starts to put the crates back on top. Idiot almost got himself killed. He was thinking to himself. Should have been there. Sink, 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 sink. It's like always putting yourself out there. You just nearly ate it this time. I don't know why I'm angry at you. I don't even know why I'm talking to myself. He says. It's okay. It's okay, he says. You're fine. You're gonna live. It's fine. Sometimes I just wish that, it's been a while since we've talked. But things are speeding up. Maybe when things slow down, we can talk again. Miss you a lot, buddy. But we'll get that chance someday.
With decent beer.
With decent beer.
That's gonna hit Sink pretty hard. He's probably gonna tear up a little bit, and he's just gonna sit and think, and he's gonna say out loud, I'm sorry we never got that chance to finally sit down and chat. And I miss you too already, man. You have no idea. After a while, when he kind of gets himself together, he'll send like a email or text, whatever, to Anar and say just thanks on it.
He'd probably hear a ding, while he's working in the bathroom, and bring up his feed and see it. And he'll probably say, he'll probably type in NP, and then anytime. At some point, he'll actually also send something to Cyrus asking him to come down to the cargo hold when he has a chance.
Arkara, you said you wanted to talk to Meridi.
Yes. Where
Okay.
is she at the moment?
She's probably done helping Otto in the kitchen, so she's probably going back to her room. Meridi in general has been relatively quiet. She was pretty verbal over breakfast, but you could still tell that she's still, something is still bothering her. But she's making her way into her bedroom. if you want to meet her there.
Yeah. I'll just catch up with her.
When you catch up with her, she looks towards your direction. She gives you a smile and she says, "Hey, girl. How's it going?"
I was gonna ask you, how are you holding up?
I don't know, she says. It's a really weird time. I didn't really know him that well, but at the same time, I did, because he's kind of me, in a way.
Yeah.
So, I've never had any brothers or sisters. I was an only child. And, I don't think I necessarily missed it at the time. I mean, I got to get everything that I wanted from my parents. Didn't have to compete with anyone. Guess it would have been nice to have someone to play with and hang out growing up, but in general, I didn't really miss having any siblings. So it was kind of weird when I met him. Almost like a long-lost brother.
Yeah. It definitely seemed like it, the way you were bickering.
She smiles. We didn't bicker that much.
Oh, come on. You were doing it all the time. It seemed good-natured, though.
I think it's because we were too much alike in a lot of ways.
Not surprised there.
It's weird. It's like him being gone is like a part of me is gone. Even though I didn't even know he existed until, what, a week, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
How are you feeling about all this? I don't know I didn't think you and him were particularly close.
No. But, as you said, he was you, in a way. And it made me realize that I'm really scared of losing you.
Oh, honey, she says, and she turns towards you and she gives you a big hug. That's very sweet.
Sorry.
I don't know what I would do if I lost you two either, girl.
Arkara actually tears up a little bit, but tries to hide it. I'm not sure if Meredith's gonna pick up on that.
So, what are we going to do? I guess we're gonna have some sort of a service for him?
I guess so. I think Sync's gonna be the one to decide, but I haven't talked to him, so I don't know yet.
You know, when I joined up on this mission, I knew it was gonna be dangerous, but I didn't think... Well, your captain almost died, and...
Yeah.
I don't regret it, though. I'm happy I'm here, but still, it still stings.
Yeah, definitely. If you ever get in trouble, though, I'm gonna do my best to take care of you.
Likewise.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're my girl. We'll always be best friends. Always.
Arkara will start a little bit at that and just stiffen it just for a second and then just relax into it, and yeah, we will.
So, those pancakes were really good. I like the artistic ones a lot. I think were you going for Picasso interpretation of those pancakes, Akara? I think Picasso is the right term for that.
Inkblatt.
Let's just assume I was going for that. Yes, that sounds better.
He seems like a good teacher,
I guess so.
she says.
He's sweet enough, I suppose.
She smiles without saying anything, and she nods. And then she wraps her arms around you and gives you another hug, without saying another word.
I'll hold her tight and just return the hug.
Very sweet.
Nice.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk to her about, or was that?
No, that was it.
That was very good. Very good. Very good RPs. All right, who else needed to do something? I think at some point Cicepia needs to go to the hospital. At some point.
Yeah, I have one thing to do before then.
Go ahead.
That's it. Like I said,
You wanted to talk to Cyrus?
Yeah, he wanted Cyrus to come down to where the bathroom was.
Cyrus will come down, and he says, "All right, what is it, dum-dum? I'm sort of busy right now taking care of your friend upstairs."
He's not gonna look at him. He's gonna keep tinkering away at the toilet, and then he's gonna say, "She's gonna figure it out sooner or later, Cyrus."
She?
You know who this one's talking about.
You'll have to remind me, he says as he folds his arms.
Look, he throws down the tools, gets up, and goes to him. It hasn't been that long ago. We're all still in shock, but eventually she's going to put 1 and 2 together. Whether she does, she's either going to be very angry, or she's going to be... You know what? This one can't even predict it. So what are you going to do about it?
What in blazes are you talking about?
Our Kara. Once she figures it out that you created her, and that you're technically her father, she's going to want answers.
She's already worked that out.
I thought we already told her everything about that.
Well, apparently she isn't reacting to it yet. You don't think it's odd?
I think calling myself her father is a little bit of a stretch.
You created her. She wouldn't be here without you. And at this point, he's wiping some grease off of one of the tools.
Technically, if you really wanted to get into specifics, she's came from from that other Krogan, Gael. Technically, Gael is sort of her mother.
Regardless, without you, she wouldn't be here. This one just wanted to make sure you knew that ahead of time in case something happened. This one doesn't know how she'll react if she ever fixes it out. And Anar legitimately doesn't know if she has or not.
I've gotten to know that one quite a bit. She doesn't seem to be nearly as prone to acting without thinking like some people I know, he says, motioning towards direction. She's a little bit more cool-headed. She's a little more cool-headed than that.
Anar will just shake his head and be like, fine. This one's
You know
just
what I
looking
think
out for you.
You know what I think your problem is?
What? What's this one's problem?
You like drama. All these theatrics. You like looking for ways to spin things into some sort of dramatic whatever, when it's not absolutely necessary.
He actually doesn't... He's looking at him, but he's kind of looking past him right now. Maybe this one just has different ways of dealing with things. Have you thought about that, Cyrus?
I will have to agree.
Look, this one wasn't sure if you... It's just... It doesn't want to lose anybody else.
Do you realize how old I am?
He kind of shrugs. This one's not too familiar with Solarian life cycles.
let's just say, he says, as invincible as I'd like to think of myself to be, I know that my time here is not as long as I would like it to be. I won't be around forever. You probably, that should come to a source of joy for you, I would think.
The Nar actually goes up to him and says, No, it wouldn't. You might not like to think it, but you're the only friend this one's got left. And he actually puts a tentacle on his shoulder.
That's sweet.
For what it's worth, this one is glad you came.
He sort of, does a little bit of this with his head, and he says, your crew's not so bad when I'm not being locked in my own room.
This one did find that kind of funny, actually.
The confectionary's made up for it, though.
Yeah, but this one bet it did.
You have friends, Anar. You have that Otto boy. You have Trissy. You have the entire crew. Me? I don't have any personal ties to anyone here except for you.
Well, have you thought about changing that?
No. Better for me to not create any ties right now. Not at this point in my life. I have no need to add any more grief to myself.
Who said anything about grief? Cyrus, what you do is up to you, but in light of everything, this one's just glad you're around. It's just sad that it still hasn't found any trace of Chris yet. This one knows you never met him, but I mean, everything it's done to find him, yet there's still no sign of him, even throughout all these universes. And he is actually pacing back and forth, actually wondering out loud. It's like, what is this one doing wrong?
Do you think part of the reason why you can't find him is because he may not want to be found for some reason?
He actually looks up slowly, and then he looks at him, and he actually starts shaking his head as a no. And then he actually looks kind of sad. This one didn't consider that.
I didn't mean to upset you, he says. I have no idea what his circumstances is. I'm just speaking from personal experience. For a while, I wanted to try to disappear myself. I don't know what his feelings were, but...
Well, this mission is pretty much over. We'll probably be dropped off at all universes soon. What do you think you're gonna do?
I'm not sure. Maybe go to the beach. Collect seashells. I heard there's recently some great experiments you can do on seashells.
You know, this one actually has a better idea. He puts a tentacle on his shoulder and says, you could take up twerking. And he starts twerking in front of him. Oh, come on, Cyrus. You know you wanna.
I can't see what you're doing, but I can sense all of the rotten pheromones that are emitting from whatever it is that you're gyrating at the moment. I think I'm going to skip this. And he turns around and leaves.
Aww.
Hey, Shark's he's lost, and goes back to fixing the toilet. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I haven't had any RP time with Cyrus in a while. I wanted to get that out of the way.
That was good, RP.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Time to move on.
Cicepia, are you going to go to the hospital?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You'll go to the hospital with Talia. I don't know if you're bringing anyone else with you. Is that it?
I mean, I don't know if anyone wants to.
I don't know if anyone else knows you're going.
Yeah, we don't know.
Nope.
Okay.
We are not aware.
No, I mean, I don't think there's a reason. I mean, I'll make an announcement that I'm heading off the ship to head over to the hospital.
As soon as the Nar hears it, he's gonna perk up and he's like, ooh, and toss the wrench back and then start up the staircase, and then the water's gonna go off again.
What, you turn the water back on?
I don't know
Sure,
what happened.
like in the play like
Apparently did.
Well, Flay flip the switch back on.
I'd like to think that. You probably go up and offer, it's like, this one can come too if you wish.
I mean, you're free to come along if you want.
Ooh, can you come along, Mr. Anar?
Does Talia want another piggyback?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and he gives her a little hug.
And she hugs back.
She hears a squeak.
Squeak.
Yay! She says.
And then the two will fly around Cicepia as she makes her way over to the hospital. Gonna make it at least less sad for the kid.
Yeah.
She says, "Wait, you'll need this," and she takes the hat off of her plushie and she puts it back on top of Anar's head. Crooked. It's a little crooked though.
And then he looks at her and says, now you seem a little off. And then he reaches into his pack, which he's actually bringing the suitcase with him, and he reaches inside and he pulls out something and he sticks on her face. There, give that a nice wiggle.
What is it? What is he? Oh, the mustache?
Yep.
She feels it, and she says, "This tickles." She runs over to the bathroom and looks in the mirror, and she starts laughing. I look so silly.
At this moment, while she's gone, he looks over at Cicepia and says, anything to make the little one less traumatized. Are you okay?
I appreciate it. I'm fine. I just hope she can be strong enough to deal with what's out there.
Well, this one will help you along the way.
That would
If it
actually
can.
be helpful, thanks.
No
I'll
problem.
have to speak with her grandfather when we get there, and
Of course.
I don't want her to,
This one will
don't
lead
want
you
her
to a...
I don't want her to be in the room when I'm having a discussion.
Oh, yes, this one can handle that.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you want Miss Arcara to join us? You seem to have gotten close to her since the incident.
I mean, if she's up for it, I won't oppose.
Okay, so when Talia comes back, he's gonna swing her up and start flying over to Arcara's room and have her knock on the door while she's up in the air.
You knock on the door, and Meridi opens it.
She has her clothes on, right?
Yes, she does.
Okay. Good. I didn't want any real
Yes,
life
she
things
does.
going on.
I mean, if she's opening the door, then hopefully she's dressed.
Arcara, we're going to the hospital. Do you want to come with us?
I'll come peek over the Meridi's shoulder.
And see that the little girl's floating with Anar.
Well, hello there, Meridi says as she's waving at little Talia. And she's like, "Hi, we're going to the hospital to visit my grandpa. You guys want to come?" she asks.
If you want us to come, sure.
"I have some things to do, little one," Meridi says, "but you guys have fun."
I'll talk to you
Okay.
later then, Meridi.
All aboard the Anar blimp.
Yes, stacks on an R.
On the way out of the ship, it's gonna be like dun 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 dun.
Nice. Very cute. Okay, so it's the four of you will go to the hospital. Okay. You guys make your way over to the Invictus hospital. You will sign in at the front. The people there will show you towards the room where Talia's grandfather is being kept, Lucitus. And you enter into the room, and Lucitus is, he seems to be reading he's probably reading from a prayer book, whatever the equivalent of, the Turian equivalent of a Bible is. They don't have Bibles, but he's got some sort of prayer book in his hands. And when he looks up to see, to see who you guys are, he smiles as soon as he sees Talia. She says, "Grandpa," and she comes over to him, almost jumps on the bed, and Grandpa says, "Oh, sorry, little one, ow." And Talia says, "Oops, sorry, Grandpa. It's okay," he says, "it's okay." And he tries to weakly wrap his one arm around her shoulder a little bit. "Grandpa just needs to take it easy." He looks up towards Cicepia and Arcara, and he gives you a nod and says, "Cicepia, you're here."
Yeah. I figured that it would be appropriate for her to come and visit you.
"Grandpa, I made you this," she says, and she takes out a drawing, and it's a picture of her and her grandpa, and it looks like they are playing around in the swings of a park, the two of them. "Well, isn't that special?" he says. "That is wonderful. I think I'll hang it up over there. Cicepia, could you please?" He says, he hands the drawing to Cicepia, and you can hang it up onto the wall next to him if you like.
At this point, Anar would probably look over to Akara and says, "We should probably leave them alone."
Yeah. We'll be
Cicepia, we'll be just outside if you need us.
Sure thing, thank you.
Talia is going to start unloading everything that happened this morning. She says, "And then we went flying, and then we went on a roller coaster, and then we had these awesome pancakes, and Arcara made one that looks like Blasto," and she just keeps going on and on and on, and the grandfather just gives her a big smile as she's telling him all of the stuff that she did this morning. "My," he says, looks like you've had quite a productive day, Talia."
Hey, Talia. Do you mind if I speak with your grandfather alone for a moment?
"Okay. I will go out and play with Arcara and Anar, Mr. Anar," she says.
Okay. Thank you, dear.
"Okay. I'll be back later, Grandpa." And she walks over to her grandpa and gives him a kiss on the forehead before she leaves.
Can Turians kiss?
Yes.
I think they can.
Wow, that must look really
I
weird.
think Turians can.
I'm not saying it's they can't. I'm just curious.
I know Shepard and Garrus can.
Yep.
So I mean, they did it somehow.
Yep.
So Cicepia and Lucidus are now in the Cicepia and Lucidus are now in the room alone now. Does she know what happened?
Yes, she does. I told her what happened.
Looks like you guys have been doing a good job keeping her mind off of things this morning.
Yeah. I figured it's best. Children are best fortified of the uncertainties of life when we're honest with them than if we just pretend safety that's unreal.
He nods. "Did you catch who did it?"
Yes. He's dead.
"Good," he says.
I'm sure this is probably the last thing that you want, but I want you to file to return custody over to me.
Right now?
I imagine the sooner the better. I know about her gifts. We're the only people that she has left in this world. It's not best for us to be fighting. She needs someone who'd be able to teach her how to control her biotic powers and not be ashamed of them.
He thinks for a moment. "Where are you going to take her?" "I'm not sure what you people are doing right now, but I have a feeling wherever you guys are going these days, it's not the best place for a little girl to be.
I imagine you're not quite in shape to be able to take care of her. You're having to deal with the destruction that happened in your factory, the passing away of your wife.
We have other relatives she can stay with.
And she's just going to be even more lost. How do you think they're going to treat her being a biotic? Same way that you guys were? Pretending it wasn't there?
We were just trying to protect her.
And yet she was targeted because of that.
Yes, he says. Yes, she was, and he swallows really hard.